Like, I was so good when I started this to remember to record, and then all of a sudden lately I'm like, what's wrong with me? It's not like I wasn't doing it before, but I don't know. I guess we all get to go in different ways. Okay. Um, this is a fun class that we're going to talk about today. And Kristen, I think it will be really good for you in the fact that when you call people, you may not be able to close the deal the day of. Like, there may be some things they need to check on. They may want to review the book. They may, you know what I mean? It might not
Mm-hmm.
be, and I'm talking more like bookstores. Like, people were, it's more than a $15 purchase. Do you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so I think this will be a very effective tool for you to have an idea of when to follow up, how often to follow up, and how to follow up. Does that make sense? Because I think um, I would guess that you're a little lost on that, and if no other reason, just because this isn't something you've ever done before. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty normal, quite normal.
Well, and it's and I really I was able to contact with talk to people at the conference that distribute books, and I think that might be a better way to go to get them distributed by a distributor, and then it'll be a lot easier to talk to the bookstores because then so
Still another
it
person that has to be sold, though.
yeah, it's true.
So, I mean, if whoever it is you're trying to convince to help you move your books, that's who we're selling to.
Right. And also convincing, actually going and although I'm getting more calls to do presentations, to, you know, to do presentations is another thing I'll be calling on. So I'm sure it'll be helpful.
There you go. Okay, perfect. Linda, how are you doing, girl?
I'm doing well. I'm generating for another wellness preview tomorrow night, open house.
Awesome.
And my outbound calling has changed a little bit. It's more on the business side, and I'm saying, hey, I don't know if you know, I started this new business. It's helping people with their life, and I need to show it to 21 people this week, and I'm having an open house tomorrow night. I would love to work with you. Will you look at something with me? And that's gentle and inviting. And so I'm getting a lot of success with that.
Okay. Do you still go through the questions?
So, yes, and then I go through the questions after they come to the wellness preview, so they can say, so we can have an in-depth,
Okay.
So So it's a little different focus than the one I had before. So.
Okay.
And
that's working?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I want you to just consider that script of I need to show it to this many people this week. It comes off like you're asking them for a favor when you feel so true to yourself when you're totally focused on them versus any sort of impression that they're doing you a favor.
True.
Do you see what I'm saying?
True. Okay.
So it doesn't sound as
maybe I'll just take that part out.
I mean, they don't. How do I explain this? Okay, let me tell you a little bit, just a quick story. There is a gal I was working with, and their company sells travel. Okay, it literally is like travel programs. Okay, and in their system, one of the things they do is they say, I'm really in this and I'm excited to do this. I'm going full bore, and the reason why, and she's supposed to know her big why, whatever the money is going to go towards. And so I'm excited about having you learn about this. And she just was so uncomfortable with that. She's like, I don't know what my why is. And I'm like, well, actually, you just told me your why. You're going to help your mom with the house and help your nephew with Down syndrome. And, you just told me several whys. I don't understand why. What do you mean you don't know your why? She goes, well, I'm just not comfortable talking about it. And I said, well, why are you talking about your whys? The whole focus is supposed to be on the other person. Don't tell them your why. They want to know you care about their why. And she was like, oh, and she literally, she cried every time I talked to her. And
Oh.
quit crying. Like, it dried right up, and she's like, I just feel like I had 500 pounds taken off me. And it's just that
Okay.
it's the way that your
Yeah.
company sells, and it's hard because you're trying to balance this training you get from me with this training you get from your company, and I know that's got to be somewhat difficult.
Yeah.
It's just, I know how you feel when you're completely authentic and you're 100% focused on the other person, and I know it's hard to balance those goals, but your goals are in the back of your head and not come out your mouth for the other person to hear.
Okay. Gotcha.
You keep calling
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But they don't need to know that your goal is 21.
Okay.
Because the thing is,
got it.
If they get there and they knew your goal was 21 and they're 6, I mean, do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to take how many people God gives you. Set a goal of at least 21. Send you more, send you less, and that's all that was ready to hear it this week. There's nothing wrong with setting a goal, but you don't need to tell them. In my Now, I'm sorry, because I know I'm going against your training on your company.
No, but you're right. You're absolutely right.
You do it however you feel best about, but that is just...
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
I don't see that being true to you.
Okay. Yep, you're right. You're right.
So, like I said, I don't want to step on toes and disrespect your training. It's just, I'm going to...
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, good. Okay. I will I will.
Yeah, keep asking your questions and keep the focus on them. And you can ask a couple quick questions just to get them intrigued to come. It doesn't need to be they're doing you a favor. It needs to be because they're interested that you might have a solution for them.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Point well taken.
Sorry.
Yeah, that helps.
Was that too
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something, Kristen?
Nope, I'm just listening.
I thought you waved your hand, but I think you just put your hand up. Okay. All right. Sounds great. Okay, ladies. Let me look at my notes here. Okay. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about what I know about customers, and when you've asked them good questions, like you all are getting really, really good questions to ask people. And when somebody still says no, and you see that, well, this doesn't make sense. There seems to be a need and a fit and a reason for them to buy this. What is it that makes them say no? So there's 3 common things, okay? There's either fear of they won't be successful, or maybe even for Kristen with this book, fear that this book may, make somebody else uncomfortable, okay? Lack of confidence in themselves, or lack of confidence or understanding, and then lack of knowledge. And sometimes they just don't know quite enough yet to understand how beneficial your product is for them. And so those are things we have to sometimes step back and find out when they're still saying no, and it seems obvious to us. We may not have matched the needs as well as we could have. So one of the things is, like, people will start coming up with objections, and I'm not sure about this, and this makes me worried and concerned about this. Like, anyone had that kind of experience happen? Okay. And we have to stop and just say, I understand. Like, don't try to say, yeah, but, or try to fix it. Like, and it's hard because it's kind of an instinct, and it's what gets done to us on a daily basis. But you just have to take a deep breath. You have to slow down, and you have to say, I understand. I understand why that would be a concern. That doesn't mean you're going to leave it at that, but you have to get in the practice of saying, hey, I understand. That is really hard, or that would be a concern, or it sounds like, maybe this isn't a good fit for you. You just validate them. Okay, we won't stay there. We'll go on and ask a few more questions and see if maybe there was something we didn't completely clarify. But because, like, when I'm talking to people and I help them understand, look, if I help you get 2 new customers or 2 new recruits or 1 extra party a month or, sell so many books, my $100 a month isn't very much money in the long run, right? And they're like, oh yeah, I guess so. You're right. And so sometimes you just have to like step them back and walk through things. Okay. And so there's a couple things that sometimes they need to know. Sometimes they need to know that you believe in them. Sometimes they're saying, I'm worried I can't pull this off. Okay. Especially if it's recruiting or something like that. And those are things where you've got to figure out if they're really worries or they're actual things they can't overcome. So what you want to do is go back to when you hear there's a why they had. So it's for the 2 of you, you both have medical conditions that you're addressing. You can't quite, I know you can't quite say it like that because of the way it is with medical stuff, but you're dealing with people's health. One of the best things you can do is go back and say, let me make sure I totally understood your health concern. Tell me a little bit more about blah, 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 blah. Those things that are problems that are their needs. Okay. Tell me a little bit more about that. How long has it been going on? Gosh. How would it be if that, what would it be like if that was resolved? And then go back into that optional close. So Kristen, for you, as you're talking to them, one of the things that I would kind of focus on is, as you're talking to people, their experiences that they've had that have influenced their life with people who've been impacted by pornography. Like, make sure you're using that gut, going back to a why that they have, because it's real easy to be up here and influenced by the world and might be uncomfortable with, putting in this book on this uncomfortable topic, especially if they haven't looked at it and seen how friendly it is and that it doesn't talk about sex. You know what I mean? It doesn't talk about sex. It talks about turning the computer off when inappropriate pictures pop up. It's not about sex at all. But sometimes, people don't realize that because we're saying the word pornography. Well, has to do with sex, but the book doesn't, right? And so you've got to make sure you always hang on to that, get them back on that reason that would make them want to weigh the odds the other direction, either spend the money or take the risk of putting this book in their office or in their bookstore, or taking a risk and trying something different. Okay. Focus on those whys. Do not go try to convince them. Okay. It usually backfires a little bit. Okay. Go focus on their whys. But sometimes people do have legitimate reasons, or it's a not yet, or it's a maybe, or I need to talk to somebody else, or I need to come up with the money, or, there might be other reasons. So that's why I give you this little tracking sheet to kind of break down with somebody that might be a bigger buyer, someone you really want to follow up on and get their business. Okay. Now, Elizabeth, here's kind of an interesting example. I was talking to some doTERRA people in Utah, and it was really interesting because they had gone to Vegas, had done a huge spa expo, and they had met spa owners. And so they were trying to recruit this guy who owned 3 spas in California. Okay. So that was a big fish. And, for him, it really wasn't that much of an investment, but they were still having a hard time overcoming that hump, okay, of getting him to just sign up and say yes. So this is where, there are some customers who are just going to buy a few things that it's not worth going through this, but people who are going to buy a lot of books, people who you can see if they signed up, they'd come with a whole group of people. In recruits, and I think I sent you 2 different sheets, one that's recruiting and one that's just customer contacts, right? Did I send you 2 different kind of tracking sheets? They don't look too much different.
I think I just have one.
You only have the one?
I see
I
two.
have the.
There's an agenda, and then did I send you two little, they kind of look like Excel documents? Do you have 3 documents total, Kristen, or 2?
I have 3.
You have 3? You found them all? Okay, perfect.
I'm just trying to see which is the different.
Yeah, you don't need recruiting.
Actual recruit follow-up form. Yeah, I see the recruit follow-up form. Yeah, that didn't oh, okay, here we go.
Doesn't pertain to you. So we're going to talk about the customer one, and you'll see how the recruit one pertains to recruiting. Okay. And Elizabeth, if you'll send me an email, I'll send you the link. I mean, we'll be talking about recruiting soon, but you can jump on top of it and you can watch a video that's recorded. Okay. I'm really, just as a side note, I'm really considering moving towards having all these recorded and having more of a, what is your question call? And okay, you need to go watch this video and apply this, because people are in different places. Anyway, trying to figure this out to make it as beneficial for people as possible. So anyway, I'll get there, right? We keep playing around with this so I figure it out. Okay, so one of the things you want to do is go through this sheet and let me tell you about the different boxes and what they're for. Okay, the initial meeting is you just want to put the date in there, because it's really important to know when that date was, so that you can calculate when to put the rest of them, when the rest of the actions, okay? Because there is a time-sensitive follow-up that will make the biggest difference, okay? So put in the initial meeting date, and then you have the presentation. So you probably want to put what kind of presentation that you'll be doing, okay? And, you know, it might be more the oils, might be more the business, it kind of depends on what it is. And then I want you to start recording what optional close you gave them. Because I know if you have to write it down, you're more likely to do an optional close than if you just say, so you want to do it, okay? And it's real easy to be tempted to just do that, especially if it sounds like it's going really well. But you'll be surprised sometimes. People will be chameleons. They look really, really positive, and then they say no, and you don't know why. I mean, have you ever had that happen? You're like, they're into it, and then they're like, no, I don't think so. And you're like, what happened? Okay, don't take it for granted. Always do an optional close. Okay. Then what you want to do, like I said, if this is a big fish, or if this is a recruit, or if this one you want to do this within about 24 hours. And you have to be 100% genuine on this call, or it doesn't work, okay? This call is about asking them if they had any questions or anything else they thought about after you got off the call. Hi, sweet baby boy, how are you? So what you want to do is call and say, hey, I just wanted to thank you for your time today. Sometimes after I've got done talking to somebody, someone will think, oh, I wish I'd clarified this, or I have a question about this. And you have to be sincere. You cannot call back with any hopes that they're just going to say yes when you call them, okay? It has to be 100% genuine, that it's a follow-up customer care. Because how many times have you bought insurance, or walked through a house you're going to buy, or went and saw a car, or found out about something new, and you went home and 2 hours later you're like, gosh, I wish I had asked this. Okay, has anybody had that experience? Okay.
Yes.
You're just providing customer service, and you have to have your heart in the right place for this. Okay. Like I said, if you're calling and you at all give any impression that you're trying to close the deal versus just making sure that their questions are answered, it just will not go over as well. Okay. It has to be 100% genuine, but it stays on top of them, and it will help them, because they'll start wavering. I'm telling you, it only takes about 12 hours for their excitement to start to water down. Okay. If you wait very long, their excitement starts to fade. So then you want to also send a handwritten thank you note, not on anything that has your logo on it. Just a nice thank you card the next day. So now at 24 hours, they've got your call. At 48 hours, they got your handwritten note. Okay. Now, when you did your optional close, if they said, no, maybe I need to think about it, well, maybe I need to think about it, you definitely want to then just an optional close. Well, great. Tell me, if they needed to talk to someone, if they needed to check their budget, whatnot, ask them when you can follow up. Well, would 2 or 3 days from now be better? Okay. And, when could I call you and see, how you're feeling about it, what you find out, who you've talked to, whatever it might be. So make sure you have some sort of appointment like that scheduled. Okay.
So when do you schedule that?
When you do the optional close, if you got a maybe or not now, or I need to find out some more information, you want to try to get them to schedule that in about 2 days. But it kind of depends on, then you find out, well, it's going to take me a week to talk to so-and-so. Okay, so you'll talk to so-and-so by Friday. All right, well, I'll give you a call, can I call you Friday afternoon or should I call you Monday morning? Okay, find out how long it's going to take them to figure out that information. Okay, so in there, the whole thing is to keep touching them, to keep giving information, to keep showing them how much you're going to follow up. So like I said, that's why you have the 24-hour call. You send the thank you, and then email helpful information. This has to be 100% genuine also. What you want to do is send an article, and luckily, Kristen, you have like a gigantic amount of articles that just pertain to something that you and the potential client talked about. Okay, so you may have a whole list of success stories. Elizabeth, Linda, you might have a whole list of success stories on your product, something that you're talking about, something that they're sitting on the fence about, something that just adds more value, but is information, not, okay, here's a good idea. Aren't you ready to sign up now? Okay, no. This has to be, hey, I thought about you in the conversation we had. Here's some added information I thought you'd find beneficial. Okay. It has to be genuine. We have to keep allowing them to make their own choices. So then hopefully, like I said, you have the follow-up visit or the follow-up phone call. Now, if you still can't close the deal, you want to do what's called the cherry on top or the one extra. And what that is you've listened to them so well. Like, this isn't as difficult for Elizabeth and Linda to do because they probably live within the proximity of the people they're dealing with. Not always, but sometimes. But something that just shows you listen to them. Maybe it's where you guys are both health. I'm not sure this is the right one, but a lot of people, might go and visit them and take them their favorite Starbucks drink. But like I said, where you both are into health, I'm not sure that's the right answer. But something that shows you listen to them. Like my husband had a client who, they had a little boy who was born premature. And I'm like, well, and he was a farmer. And I'm like, well, let's take him over a John Deere t-shirt or, something for the baby. Oh, no, they're into Case tractors, the red ones, not the green ones. I'm like, okay, well, let's make sure it has the right tractor on the shirt. But you see what I'm saying? It's something that shows you listen to them and it was personable. And, here's another story that's kind of cool. So, and I love How to Win Friends and Influence People. Okay. That makes it sound like you're controlling people or you have this way to like twist and get them to do what you want, but it's way more gentle than what the title kind of sounds like. And one of the stories is this gentleman, Can you repeat
the title? It got all garbled.
Yeah. How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Oh, yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
Okay. And one of the stories is this gentleman, he goes in to talk to this guy about some business, and he gets this appointment. It's not terribly long. They don't really get too far. But as before the guy goes in for the interview or in for the conversation, he hears the gentleman ask the secretary, this would have been a couple of years, like several years ago when we sent more snail mail. But he says, do we have any unique stamps today to add to my 12-year-old grandson's stamp collection? And, so he hears this conversation with her. And so the guy goes back to his office where they have this big mail room, and there's all this mail that comes in. And so he starts going through these stamps and finds an array of these unique stamps, takes them back to the guy. The guy totally talks to him forever. And, he got where he wanted to be and had a long relationship with the guy. Okay. Putting that cherry on top and showing that you care about people just goes so far. I know some people think it sounds like a game or something, or like something almost not even honest. But I mean, think about it. When people have gone out of their way for you, aren't you just absolutely, you're honored to do whatever you can to help them. Okay. And so really take the opportunity to do that. That's when you've got to the end, you're still sitting on the fence. They're not a no, but you're not sure what else to do. Just show them how well you're going to take care of them and how much you care. Okay. What questions do you have on these steps?
I have a question, Michelle.
Yes, Linda.
I have a wellness preview Thursday night, and the lady said, okay, I'm going to sign up. And it was late. It was 8:30. She said, I get up at 4:30, so I'm getting, I'm going to have to run.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, I can take your information now and sign you up, and then you can go online and look at what you want to order. I mean, she knew exactly what she wanted to order, but she had never really gone online. It was all new to her.
Uh-huh.
And she said, no, and she's been with Mary Kay for 20 years, so she understands everything about, signing up. And she said, you mean you don't need to sign me up tonight? And I said, no, we don't have to sign up tonight. You can sign up, you can sign up at home. I can sign you up. She said, okay, I'll either sign up Saturday night or Sunday.
Okay.
I said, great. And so then Friday morning, she called me and had more questions. She said, okay, now what was that I was looking at? What was the name of that? She said, I'm looking at all the pricing. I told her, we had a good conversation. We talked more about what the products do. And she said, I think that point right there, because I was in my car, I didn't get exactly what she was going to do next. And so there was a little ball dropped right there. So I didn't hear from her Saturday, and I did not hear from her yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So in my response now, I need to call her this morning and find out, where she is, I think, in the process. Is that the natural thing to do? Like, gosh, I didn't hear from you. Can I, what's my question, I guess? What should I ask her?
Okay, so you're saying that you're seeing online that she hasn't signed up. Is that what you're saying?
Well, actually, I should go online and see. I don't think she has, but that's a good point. I can go and look.
Oh, okay, so you don't know. You don't technically know.
I don't know. Usually I get an email from the company that says, hey, you have a new consultant.
Okay, so then
I don't think she signed up.
Okay, probably not. Well, and I think I know who you're talking about, and
I think you do.
I've had kind of a similar situation with her.
Okay.
It starts with a C, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay. So let's step back. I will answer your question. Let me just give you a little learning lesson before we move on. The first thing is, whenever you have a situation like this, you definitely want to have a call to action and the agreement of when you're going to follow up with them next.
Okay.
Okay. And that just takes practice, and that's just something to learn. So, now you know better for next time. No big deal. But make sure you definitely, because that's the whole thing, is like you're in this, oh, I don't know what to do next. And that's like an awful feeling. And you're like, does calling them annoy them, or is calling them show I care, or calling them, like, which is it?
Right.
You ask, you say, well, tell you what, are you planning on signing up tonight or tomorrow? What's your game plan? Well, I got to think about it for a while. Okay, I totally understand. I have to think about it and research for a while. Tell you what, which is better for me to follow up with you Sunday night or Monday night to see what other questions you have. And if they say, no,
Okay,
no, no,
that's what I didn't
I'll call you. No, no, don't call me, I'll call you, which only happens about maybe 5 out of 100 times. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
It does now and then.
Uh-huh.
And you say, oh, okay. And you just kind of know. If they're like, well, I'll probably call you. It depends on kind of how strong they say it. I'll say, well, you know what? If you're like me, I get running and I'm busy and this isn't part of your habit. If I haven't heard from you by Wednesday, would that be okay if I just send you, give you a quick follow-up call? Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. And they laugh because,
right.
relating to that we're busy and we can't remember. Okay. So that's a book distributor or someone at doTERRA or this, you need to have what's the game plan next when you get off the phone. Okay. Because if you're like, hey, were they going to call me or was I supposed to call them? And now what do I do? I mean, this is like a feeling right now, right, Linda?
Right.
And so, I mean, luckily you know her and your friends, so it's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
And you also see her in another situation. Which morning is it? Is it Wednesday?
Friday.
Friday. Okay. Oh, that's a long ways away. Okay. So, and I know she works during the day, so you're gonna have to wait till tonight. Right?
Should I wait till tonight? I probably should, huh?
I wouldn't call her at work. No, you could text her.
Okay.
I would say you could text her and just say, "Hey, I'm so excited to work with you. Tell me if there's anything else I can help you with, to get you signed up. What does your time frame look like? Can I call you this evening?" Like you just want to act friendly and positive and like it's happening, and without sounding too presumptuous, but very positive.
Okay.
No, I know she works.
Okay, great.
I would wait till tonight. It's up relatively early usually. But the thing is, she has her Mary Kay thing tonight. I don't know if she's going consistently, but you're going to have to catch her between Mary Kay and work.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is that
great? I'll text her. I'll send her a quick text.
Yeah. Is that kind of a future game plan?
Pardon?
Does that give you kind of a future game plan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just say, hey, Colleen, following up. She really just wants to buy product right now. She's going to wait for about a month to see what's happening with her job, and so really, it's just a product thing right now.
Okay.
So I'll just say, hey, what other questions do you have? Can I call you tonight at 4:30? Can I call you at 4:30 tonight?
Right.
Does that sound okay?
Well, you can always give her, I mean, you still want to practice that optional close of, would it be better for me, could we chat at lunchtime or tonight?
Okay.
Or Wednesday or excuse me, Monday or Tuesday, or always give the optional close, even when it's text.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Or can chat at lunch or tonight? How's that? Okay. Perfect.
Okay. All
perfect.
Right.
Thank you.
You bet. Elizabeth, how are you feeling about this? How would this be helpful in your different situations?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself.
You're fine.
I only got to half listen because, as you saw, the child. But I like the fact that optional close, it really has helped out a lot when I've actually remembered, and that's the problem, is remembering to do it. It was kind of nice to kind of see the breakdown of what order I should be going on. So I think it'll help, especially I've got somebody that I'm supposed to meet with that owns a business, and so it'd be nice to see how this kind of helps, because I've talked to him before and it's been like, oh, I'll think about it and get back to you, and so it keeps on being me getting back to him.
Right.
So it'd be nice to see how this would work with him.
Perfect. Okay. Awesome. And Kristen, how can you see this helping with your distributors or bookstores?
Well, I think it helps me to be more genuine and more careful about coming at it from their perspective. And so I think that's all good.
Awesome. Awesome. And that's the thing. Sometimes it's like it is. And the other thing that happens is that, so you got to understand that the question call, the thank you, and the follow-up email all need to be within 7 days of that first initial contact. Okay, I probably should put the time on there. Because the whole thing is you're staying in that window of when they're excited. Okay. And because we're offering a lot of information and appreciation versus you ready to sign up, you're ready to sign up, you're ready to sign up, or we're just staying in front of them so that they make the decision. Just like you got to ask Porter, honey. You talk to Porter. Then that way it's just keeping you in front of them. So, and it ensures them, this isn't as much of an issue for you, Kristen, because your book's done, but ensures them for added support in the future, because Linda and Elizabeth's people need to be trained. Just 1 second. Hayden? Because they need training and support, whereas your bookstores don't. It's just nice for them to see how well you follow up and how much support you'll be for them in the future as they are recruited for really good customers.
Yeah, I think they like to have that personal relationship, and it also helps, and it depends on the bookstore and really how much I'm traveling or whatever, but they often will have book signings or special, so it's always good to do that.
Right.
Have a relationship with them about that. So that's good. Yeah.
Excellent. 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 Okay, let me go back to the agenda here. Any other questions about this? Any thoughts on that you're not quite sure? Oh, actually, the days and the times are on the agenda for those different steps.
Okay.
So, did this pop into your head, or Elizabeth, did this help pop into your head a couple people that maybe you could talk to and follow up with and see about, them becoming builders or signing up with a company in general?
Yeah, actually, I was writing down a few people that I need to touch base with today to kind of see, okay, what do I need to do next, and what have I done, going over the list, going, okay. My question is with the thank you note, a lot of times I don't have a physical address for people. Is an email still acceptable, or a text message saying thank you for coming to the class?
I would do whatever you can to get, if you've met with them and you're going to send a thank you, ask them for their address, get in the habit of that. But, a text or an email is better than nothing. Okay. So, but you're right. Especially because I don't even have you put that on your drawing slips. I just don't. Like I said, it kind of depends on the level of the customer.
Okay.
And you can even I had a gal, she was so cute the other day. She sent me some cute little quote kind of pictures that you see on Facebook. She messaged me those in a text. It was cute. It was sweet. You know what I mean? It's not quite a handwritten thank you card, but it was thought out. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of fun. So. Okay. So let me ask you real quick, just to kind of step back a little bit, something we haven't talked about for a little while. How's everybody doing with having an image of their goals present and around and in front of them? Who has a goal right now that's actually posted somewhere and you're seeing it on a regular basis?
I've been bad.
What did you say, Linda?
I haven't done that yet. I think it's probably crucial that I do it.
How about you, Elizabeth?
Kind of. The like doTERRA sends us little things for, you know, the incentive trips and things like that. So I taped those up at my desk at work. But I think I need something more consistent, something at the house as well as the car, because I'm not at the office as much as I am other locations. So I think I need other things around to remind me.
And you know, I hope you take this the right way. The problem with incentive trips is that's not necessarily your business long-term goal.
Yeah.
Okay, they're fun. Don't get me wrong. I am all for shooting for those trips because they're awesome. But that doesn't pay your bills. In fact, it usually costs you a little bit of money. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you need to have your personal goals. That's fine that the trip's one of your personal goals, but you've got to have your stuff down too. You got to understand, they do those incentive trips to get you to do what they want you to do. They try to get you to build their business by doing certain things.
My question is, it's like the team that I want, how would do you just write the status you would want, or do you just draw the picture of all those people underneath you? How exactly would you do a visual?
Whatever works for you. If it's creating that kind of family tree, and I like either oval or round because it makes, you know, to me it's a person's face and it makes it more personable to me because I'm a change the world person. Some people would have to put a dollar sign and how much that's going to mean to them, and that would work better. It depends on if you're change the world or a money and titles. Both are okay. I know for those that are change the world, it sounds really, yeah, that person can't be a dollar sign. Yeah, they can if that's your motivational style. Okay, that's what works. I know for us change the world people, it sounds cold. But I mean, Linda, I know what your long-term recruit goal is. That 21 or 22. I keep forgetting.
Right.
Which
right,
is
22.
22. You should have
22
everywhere, Linda. There should be a 22 everywhere,
okay.
everywhere, and there should be a big sign on your wall that has 22 circles, and you're filling in one of those circles with a person's name every time you have a recruit sign up. Like, you guys have got to have down. Kristen, you could have a big, like, thermometer thing, and, you know, I know how far you are on your goal towards is it 5,000? No. How many is it by?
Yeah, my initial goal was to sell 5,000 within 12 months, but I think we're going to do it in 7. So I mean, it's
so time to
reach. That's my question.
Yeah,
that was my question. Is at what point do you like? I mean, my ultimate goal is to sell 1 million copies of this book, but I mean that will take probably years. So, I mean, I think that, you have
short-term goals and long-term goals. You have the 1 million books on the wall, and you have, this is the goal for this month, this year, whatever bite size you obviously mentally can do a year, and that doesn't overwhelm you. You set this goal for a year, you've met it in 7 months. So if a year works for you, and luckily you were smart enough. I'm telling you, not everybody does this, Kristen. You're a little more left brain than right brain. You had broke it down and you knew how many books you had to sell per month to be on track. Okay, I am telling you, I work with a lot of people who have no idea how much they have to sell a month to get to their goal. It's really, I'm like, well, how much do you have to sell a month? I don't know. I'm like, okay, let's figure that out. That will help. But that's just the difference between being left brain and right brain. It's okay. That's why I'm here. That's why I help with. So I think you need to.
So what you say to have. So I guess what you're saying is, once I meet this goal, then I need to make a new goal and put that number up everywhere until I achieve it.
Or something that symbolizes that. Like, you want to start making money. So how many books do you have?
We're really garbled. Sorry.
Wow. I don't know who this is coming in. Hang on. Okay. Is that better? I had some background noise going on over here. Right. Can you hear me now, Kristen? Okay. I know you want to start making money with this and you're not comfortable with money. So you have to say what you want the money to go towards. Last I remembered, most of it is just having a more secure retirement.
Right.
Okay. You have to have a picture of what that feels like and looks like, because when you have a goal like that, you're going to be able to speak more because you have freedom, and you're going to go see your grandbabies and, whatever it is that you and your husband do retired. Okay. How that feel and what that looks like. Because if that isn't clear, you don't feel like you're worthy of that money. It's really,
okay.
I don't really need that money because I haven't defined where it's going to go and I'm probably will be fine. Well, you got to know exactly what it's for and how your life, what you're going to do with that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What I try to focus on is books sold, meaning children saved, children educated.
I know.
So I kind of focus on that.
I know, but the goal, you have an additional goal now. Your additional goal is you have a more secure retirement.
Right.
And that means selling 2, 3, 4 times as many books as last year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay.
Right.
So,
right.
But listen, you really have to decide how it's going to feel and what that retirement's going to look like before you put down that book number, or you'll kick it out mentally and you won't really think it's okay for you to do that.
Okay.
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 Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So Elizabeth, what's your next goal, hun? Like, I see you kind of, like, you've had some little miracles. I see this happen all the time. So let me just tell you this. Like, you're totally normal. I see people set little goals and they try some of these business techniques. And then 2 things that have to happen after that is you set really specific goals because you have more hope and faith now that you have better tools. And 2, you have to apply the tools consistently. And you just had that kind of little experience happen where you're like, oh, dang, I didn't call and follow up with all the people I invited. Life lesson, no big deal. There's always another week to have another class. It's okay. But you've got to be setting those goals and you have to be consistent about the actions. Okay? You can't take it for granted that I can ask a couple questions and take shortcuts. I do it myself and it comes back and bites me every time. Okay? If I start talking about my program without knowing their needs, I don't close as many deals, not anywhere close. Okay?
Yeah.
So I have it bite in the derriere all the time. So Elizabeth, what haven't you put down that it's time to put down on paper and post?
Could I I'm going to have to leave the call.
Okay, no problem. I think we're done.
But thank you so much.
Are you coming to Toastmasters tomorrow?
I have a presentation tomorrow, but I was planning to do it the next week.
Okay. All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, Elizabeth, go ahead.
I think I'm still working towards the same goal. I just need to be more, like you were saying, you need to break it down per month. And when you said that, it kind of the light bulb clicked on of, I have no idea what I have to do each month.
Mm-hmm.
So I think breaking it down per month is what I kind of have to work on today and figure out. And then working on more of the phone calls and kind of breaking out this week is kind of going to be an interesting one. But
right. So you got to divide it by how many weeks you have left after convention.
Yeah.
You just got to throw this week out and know you're going to be really motivated, but then, come back to it. So what is your goal, Elizabeth?
My long-term goal is I want to be silver. And that's one of the statuses in doTERRA that's it's up there one.
Right.
But like you were saying as well, when you were telling her that if you're a change the world kind of person and you say the number before you have that earmark of what you're going to do, your brain's going to kick it out. And that, I think, has been my issue, is I haven't been figuring out why I want silver and why I want to be at that status. And my brain's going, no, you don't need that much. You don't need to be that high up. So I think kind of figuring myself out a little bit more
Okay, so Elizabeth, tonight I want to hear your why, and I want to hear your breakdown. Okay, I want you to email the things to me tonight. And if you're still stuck, I want to hear you're stuck. But I want to hear from you tonight how it's going.
Okay.
Okay? Because it's important you get this down. I can teach you business skills on blue in the face, but I'm telling you, if you don't have goals with them, it does not matter how much I teach you.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, you're going to do it. You've done amazing. You've done so many good things since I met you. So this is like, it's right there. You can have whatever you want, but the problem is you haven't decided what you want.
Yeah.
Okay? So Linda, what do you feel like you need to put down and get focused on?
I'm sorry, what?
What do you need to put down on paper and get focused on, hun?
Let's see. I really need to do the tracking form, the weekly planning, the daily planning. And I need to do the 22 thing. I'm just searching here for sticky notes. So I think that's what's going to help me.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
I'm sitting here writing a handwritten note. I'm just writing a handwritten note right now to stick it in the mail. Just follow up with this lady.
Okay.
I met on Thursday, so that's good. I've printed out all of your forms that you sent us today.
Okay.
I love this. And I'm reading Failing Forward. It's fabulous.
Okay, one of the things, Linda, that I think, can I make a suggestion?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, it seems like, okay, there's a couple things I've noticed that I think would be helpful for you. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
First of all, I think we need to take your goal and break it down into bite-sized pizzas. It's either I'm having fun talking to one person at a time, and I have these great conversations, and I sign up a person here and there, and you're very excited because you're helping people. And then all of a sudden you'll switch over and you'll have this giant elephant to eat. Okay, the company gave me the challenge to talk to this many people in this short amount of time. And it's not necessarily any of your goals. And then the other thing that I see happen, and these are not criticisms, they're total observations that I think we can learn from and give you a better plan.
Yeah.
Okay,
good. No, I totally appreciate it.
Yeah, the other thing I see happen is that you'll travel and have like some family and travel things and husband things that get thrown into your calendar, and you don't take those into consideration to your plan for the whole month. Okay. So I feel like we need to kind of sit down and, okay, you have this goal of 22 by this date. We need to backtrack and go, how many is that per month? How many phone calls and interviews do you need to do per month? And then you go, well, you know what? There's a whole week I'm traveling in, let's just say it's the month of October. So that goal is going to be divided by 3 instead of 4.
Okay.
I mean this in the nicest way, but I would really like you to throw out those challenges from your company. The challenges from the way those challenges from those companies are meant is just to get you on a roll and to get your habits formed. But the problem is a lot of people burn out and then they don't keep working after that. I want to see you consistent. Yeah, I want to see you consistent and deliberate. Because when you're playing with your grandbabies, heck no, I don't want you working, but I want you to know when you're going to work when you're done.
Okay.
Does that, do you see how different that is?
Yeah, that actually gives me some, a breather. It gives me it helps a lot.
Okay, because I'm afraid when you're hanging with grandbabies, you're going, oh, when am I going to make phone calls? When am I going to make phone calls? And how am I going to get this goal? But you don't even know what your monthly goal is.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Company challenges don't necessarily match your goals. If they do match your goals, I'm fine with that. But they're not asking you what your goal is. They know what your long-term goal is of having these 22 recruits, but they didn't ask you when your grandbabies are going to be in town and when you're traveling with your husband and if that makes sense for this month.
Right. I got it. Thank you.
Okay. So Linda, this is
Yeah.
what I want you to do. Do you still want to do this by December 30th, or do we need to stretch it out a couple months?
No, I still want to do it by December 30th.
Okay, so we have half of September, October, November, December. And how many recruits do you still need? How many do you have now?
Well, I have 2.
You have 2.
So
20 to go?
I'll say 20. 20 to go.
Okay. Okay, so, and do you have all the rest of September to work, or are you traveling?
No, I have my baby now again from the 17th to the 22nd.
And
so I have a couple, yeah.
will you work it all during that time? If you don't want to, it's fine. I just need to know.
No, just I do have one little appointment right in the middle of there. Somebody is coming over to buy something, but no, I'm going to plan to not work. I can maybe make some calls during her naps like I did last time, and that was good.
Okay.
I can make some calls. So.
Okay, so Linda, look, that means you probably need to recruit 6 per month in October, November, December, and 2 this month to get your 20.
Okay.
Okay, and you're going to have to be deliberate about it, but I'm tired of these 21 interview things that don't necessarily equate to your goals. If you did 21 and the way I ask questions, you should recruit 6.
Okay.
Okay, do you really want to think about this? Do you really have the time and the energy to recruit 6 new people this week?
No.
Okay.
No.
You don't need 21 people. If you want to do 21, that's totally fine. It's just think about, you know how to ask these questions well.
I do.
Okay, you know how to ask the questions well. You know how to do an optional close. And let me tell you, did you know a gallon bucket, 1 drop at a time, fills in about 18 hours? Not even a whole day. Okay?
Really?
I need you to think about consistent drops. Drops. Okay? You're kind of, okay, I have family in, and then I get back, and then it takes me a couple days to unpack, and then I start making phone calls, and then I rev up, and then you're up and down and up and down.
Yep, you're right.
And you're normal.
Right.
You're normal.
And it's awful.
I know, but I just want to help you get so you can be peaceful about this.
Okay, good. That would be great.
Okay.
Absolutely right.
No, it's totally, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just you might be able to feel a little more peaceful.
Right.
Okay.
And that's the overall. That's why I'm here. I mean, that's why I'm here, to be peaceful. I have it. It's available.
And you're very teachable, so that's a nice thing. You never give me a bad time, so it makes it a lot easier to teach you. Okay.
No, I am teachable.
Yes, you are. Okay.
Okay.
So did you hear that? 2 in September, and honestly, you're probably going to want to move it up to about 8 in October and November and 4 in December, because December is kind of a hard month to recruit. That would be my suggestion for you. So based on that, I need you to go sit down when you have a minute and make a game plan as to how many wellness previews, how many phone calls a week you need to have, and how many phone calling sessions a week you need to have to do that. And I need you to look at your calendar and when you're traveling and when you have your grandbaby and work it around that stuff. But if you get a game plan, you can do this, but you got to have your goal written down too, okay?
Okay. Yeah, the weekly and daily.
So I want to see your game plan by the end of today, okay?
Okay.
You've got all the skills you need. You just need to be a little more deliberate now, okay?
Yep.
Okay. After you know what you want, Elizabeth, we'll go into your game plan. But I think you don't know what you want yet for us to do that yet, okay? You can do that if you want. I don't care. Go for it. But I don't think you have quite your why clarified yet, okay?
Okay.
Sound good? We got to take one step at a time. If I try to push you to make a game plan without a why, totally backfires.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, ladies, thank you so much. You're amazing. You got to realize how amazing you are and how far you've come. You learned how to ask questions.
Thank you.
You're learning how to make optional closes. You're getting there, okay? We just got to help you get some more consistent.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds perfect. Thank you.
You bet.
Super helpful.
Good. I'm glad.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Okay.